What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson, and you're listening to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Oh, yeah. So here's the real mystery. How do real MLMers like us, who didn't cheat and only bug family members and friends, who want to grow a profitable home business, how do we recruit A players into our downlines and create extra incomes, yet still have plenty of time for the rest of our lives? That's the blaring question, and this podcast will give you the answer. My name is Steve Larson, and welcome to Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Hey, how you guys doing? Hope life's going well for you. Hope you are living it on purpose and being loud and in charge and taking command of your life. Hey, I grew up in Littleton, Colorado. It's right outside Denver. It's kind of sandwiched between the city and the mountains. And it's kind of nice because you had the best of both worlds. You had the city on one side, but then also the mountains on the other side. And what was really nice about that is that we would go kind of sneak away, sometimes on the weekends or even weeks at a time, we'd go backpacking. And I know I talked about backpacking a little bit on a previous episode, but I learned to love it. It's not that I ever really hated it, in fact, but I actually learned to really like it. I really enjoy it. The only reason I bring it up is because recently I was talking to my dad, and we were thinking, like, man, we should go on another huge backpacking trip, another 1 weeker at least, or something big, something crazy, something where it's challenging and hard. And I actually learned to like those kinds of things, a lot of it times through backpacking and the crazy things that we would do outside and stuff. And I remember there's this one trip we'd put these snow pants on, and we were way above tree line. We were on actually, I think I talked about this one before, maybe. Anyways, it was a 3.5 week backpacking trip, 3.5 weeks, and we were way, way above tree line. There's no trees there. Oxygen's really, really, really low. Super fun, right? I mean, some people listening to this might be thinking, Steven, you're freaking crazy, but it really is so fun. There's a rush all the time. You're packing all your food in and out. I mean, everything you have to survive is on your back, and you're way, way in the back. It even takes a permit because you're so far in the back country, just to keep you safe. If you ever to get life flighted or stuff like that. Like, I love that stuff. Super fun. I'm not in the shape as I was when I was doing all that stuff, but I remember this one trip we were on. We brought snow pants with us, even though it was like July, August. We brought snow pants because way above the tree lines was all the snow, and you'd get up there and the wind's blowing, and you're sucking wind extra hard because the oxygen's low, and it was really, really awesome. And we got up to a certain spot where there's this big bowl, massive bowl. Now, when you say bowl, really that's like this big, massive, huge, multi-mile swoop from one peak to the next. We're not talking like a little bowl. I mean, this is huge, right? But it was packed with snow, very steep. You could stand, reach out, and just put your arms straight out, and you'd be touching the side of the mountain, like that kind of steep, if you can visualize that. And so what we would do is we had ice axes with us, and we needed the ice axes to get up to the top, on top of the crest and of this mountain. It's basically a cliff that you climb. We used ice axes to get up it, and it was really fun. And so we'd practice with these ice axes, wrap them around our arms and such, and we put these snow pants on, and we would go hauling down. We'd sit down, and we'd leave our packs and stuff up at the top. And was it a little stupid? Sure. But this is total guy fun. I feel like every guy should go through something like this. But we'd sit at the top of this bowl, and with this ice axe, just start hauling. We'd leave the ice axe, we'd kind of hold it to our chest and lean back, and we're in snow pants, and you're just on this piece of ice, and you just go flying down. I mean, as fast as you can possibly imagine. You pick up speed so quick. You're basically control falling down a cliff. I mean, it's so fun. And when you're ready to stop, you just roll over really hard and smack the ice and put all of your weight into the hook, and you'd stop in 2 inches. It was super fast, it's kind of extreme. And I remember thinking, how ridiculous that was, and we went on to backpacking in other areas, and especially when we would climb up to that area, I mean, just sucking wind like crazy, and you're breathing super hard. Your lungs are beating super, super hard. You're trying to get more oxygen inside your body than it can get. And it's really common to get altitude sickness with this. And I promise there's a story, a point with this whole story and everything. But it's interesting because even while we were going down, that's called glissading on the snow pants when you're shooting down at the ice axe. We'd do glissading or when we were hiking up the sides or whatever it was, I was always shocked at how much technique there was to breathing, just breathing. And that one thing alone changed the entire experience for myself or the other people. And if they didn't do correct breathing, or if they didn't do things to help their bodies acclimate, either beforehand or in the middle of the hike or whatever it was, a lot of times they'd get altitude sickness, which can lead to hallucinations, and it actually can get quite serious. But just that simple thing, breathing technique. And what we would do is, while we were hiking up, we would exhale like we were a freight train. And it sounded so stupid. I'm sure it scared all the animals away and maybe kept us safe in some way, some area. There was moose and bear and mountain lions and stuff all around. It was really fun. But we'd go and you just, kind of like pierce your lips together and go, every single exhale, super, super hard. And at first it was very painful on the lungs to do that because you're stretching the lungs. You're putting more force on the lungs than the altitude than you're currently at. Does that make sense? Your lungs thought that you were at a higher altitude than you actually were at because of that strategy. Well, it would make your body work harder, and it would really hurt at first because your lungs were already hurting. But eventually what would happen was it would become so routine, and your body would create more red blood cells, and you would actually soak in more oxygen as you'd go up. Now, I realize I've been telling the story for 6 minutes now. The whole point of this is that just that one simple technique is in some cases, life-changing. Your body would handle it better. Your body actually would take in water when you drink it rather than just get rid of it. Your body, just because you were breathing correctly, so many good things were happening in the rest of the body and the mind. You were able to keep a clear head and keep pushing forward even when it's hard. And eventually the burn would leave and you would acclimate. And it's the craziest thing. Now, Stephen, oh my gosh, this is Secret MLM Hacks Radio. Like, what does this have to do with anything? It has everything to do with everything. Okay. A lot of people, what I've noticed is they know the right answer on what it takes to be successful in MLM. Right now, if you were to grab a piece of paper, in fact, I would do it. Go grab a piece of paper right now, a pen, whatever's near you, and pause and just write down the one thing that you know you need to be doing to be successful in MLM, but you're not doing it. What is it? What is it? Because most of the time you know what it is. And most of the time it's the thing that we are least looking forward to doing. It is actually that the biggest thing we're supposed to be doing is usually the thing that actually has the most pain associated to it, which sucks, but it's just like the breathing thing. And if you take the time to learn, it's going to hurt at first. There's no other way to say it. You are going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be stretched beyond your limits. You're going to be stretched beyond everything you do. But if you look forward to that and you look forward to the growth, it's actually kind of a rush. I look forward to it every time. I'm excited at the prospect of us going out and being able to go on another week-long backpacking trip, probably next summer, which is awesome. But I know the level of pain that it takes to get there. But those who can handle the pain at first, which always leaves, end up playing the game at a higher level with higher quality, quote-unquote, athletes. Does that make sense? You're playing more extreme. Mentally, you're getting back more mental goodies than the other guy because they're not willing to go through the things that you are. There's a really great book called The Dip by Seth Godin. I love that book. And basically what it says is that every single time you start out on any kind of, on anything, there's always a piece of excitement. How did you feel when you first joined your MLM? There's this piece of excitement. Oh, but this is going to be awesome. It's going to go change my life. I'm going to make extra money. Right? Just like, oh, this is going to be awesome. We're going to go get like crazy, crazy high altitude. We're going to see all this cool wildlife. It'll be a little bit dangerous, but super fun. And we'll come out strong on the other side. Like there's this piece of excitement ahead of time before we even start. And as you start, right, there's this thrill. And you're like, yes, woo! And pretty soon, always, it gets harder. It's going to get harder. And then people start to second guess their decision. Right? You all know people like this. People that you've recruited into your downline. People that have, who got sold on the dream, but treated it like a hobby. Every time things get hard, the hobbyists leave. Does that make sense? And you need to be careful that when you are working inside of your MLM that you are not treating it like a hobby. It is a business. And if you're not treating it like one, you'll know the things that you're supposed to be doing that you may not be. But if you're not treating it like a business, the moment it gets hard, which you probably may have already hit, right? Or maybe you're about to, or maybe one of those really, really tough periods just kind of ended and you feel like you might be plateauing a little bit and you need the resistance in order to grow again. Look forward to the resistance. Understand that that is what actually makes you successful and progressive inside this business. You have to turn into the pain. That's what Tony Robbins teaches. Don't skirt around the pain. You turn straight into it, and there's always pleasure on the other side of it. And it's always funny because the pain is never as long as you were fearing. It's always a little bit longer than you think it's going to be, but it's never as long as you fear. And as soon as it's over, there's always pleasure on the other side of it. A sense of accomplishment, and what's funny is it's funny because there are people that you can look around and look at them and be like, wait a second, that guy's not more talented than I am, right? Wait a second, that guy, and you know those people. You're like, how did that guy get so successful in MLM? You've probably asked that question before. I've attended meetings before. I'm looking around. I'm like, hey, that guy did it? You know what I mean? And it's not to be rude, but you're like, man, if that guy can do it, like I should be able to. And you know what? It's exactly what you might be thinking. You're right. They probably aren't more talented, but they were willing to stick out a little bit of front end pain for ridiculous pleasure up front, or in the back. Does that make sense? That's how it happens. And if you're able to do that and you understand that that's what's coming, you can mentally psych yourself up and be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to climb a mountain. Professionally, I'm gonna go climb a mountain. What do I need? And you start getting ready. Don't just start right out and don't just start climbing a mountain. But what do you need? What are the things that you need in order to go and be successful with it? Well, number one, what I would do is I'd go find one of your top MLMers. Do you even know who they are? Inside your MLM, who actually are the top MLMers inside your MLM? Who are the top earners, right? Who are the people who are killing it, right? And find out who they are. Write them down by name and go figure that out. There's a lot of businesses that die simply by just not knowing who their competition is. Now, of course, you're in the same business, right? You're technically on the same team, but you're also technically competitors. You're competing with that top earner. But we all like to talk about the cool successes we've had. I love talking about that. I went on a 3.5-week backpacking trip. Guess what? It really sucked the first 3 or 4 days. There's so much pain in my feet every day I woke up. They were throbbing. The first 15 minutes I'd walk around. I was walking gingerly, my body was still acclimating to what was going on. It's strenuous. But if you don't allow yourself to go through the strenuous parts of it, you're not going to get to the other side of it. And so go find a top earner in your MLM, ask them, hey, what are you doing differently that nobody else is doing or no one else seems to be picking up on? What is it that you're offering? What is it that people are getting when they join your downline? Start watching everything that they do and start watching everything that they're offering. Are they really doing it through home meetings? Are they really? If they are, awesome. Figure out what they're doing different because anyway, are they really? Figure out exactly what those pieces are. And what I would do is I would list out, you're going to get some answers, maybe get a couple answers from one guy who's a top earner. Go ask the next one, or go ask the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. And if you start asking all those individual people, pretty soon a pattern is going to start emerging, a technique, right? Whatever it is. And for me, for backpacking, it was breathing. And a very specific way to breathe. It was painful at first, but made it all so amazing throughout. And I was able to acclimate quickly because of it. And it's the same thing. So go find out the equivalent of what technique you're supposed to be using that may not be taught by your immediate upline. Maybe they're still new to it also. So go ask the people who are being successful with it. Go find what they're doing. Model what they're doing, right? And go ask the upline, hey, what on earth am I supposed to be doing? What is it that you're doing that's made you successful that no one else seems to be picking up on? And you know what? If you can't, for some reason, find out or reach someone in your own MLM, any top earner from any company, whoever, just start asking people who are actually killing it and making an actual living, people who do it full time, people who actually make a living, full passive income on it. You ask those people. Don't ask the people who aren't totally doing it yet, who haven't totally made it, who might still have a full-time day job, or you know what I mean? Figure out who those people are who are actually doing it. They are walking the walk. You ask those people, regardless of the company, figure out what those patterns are, and you model after those techniques. Anyway, that's really been on my mind. Maybe it's because we're going to go backpacking hopefully soon. Just the thought of it. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. And it really is as simple as that. And that's how I actually started 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago now. I started with that question in mind, and I started looking around and I started going, what really are these top earners actually doing? And that question led me to this whole thing, which started Secret MLM Hacks, which now automates my recruiting. It totally automates it, which is so fun. It's so cool. People join my downline I've never met before, like routinely. It's not like a 1 or 2 type of thing. Like a lot of people have. It's been really fun. I'm not trying to get numbers or brag or anything like that, but that question alone, I'm just trying to illustrate, will make you approach your business differently. Don't worry about freaking business cards or a logo or a slogan. Don't worry about whatever. That stuff doesn't matter. You know what matters right now till you make $1 million? Sales. Just go make sales. And how do you do it? Go ask someone who's doing it. It's really simple as that. Go find out who has the best techniques and model what they're doing. Anyways, guys, hope you're doing awesome, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Would you like me to teach your own downline 5 simple MLM recruiting tips for free? If so, go download your free MLM Masters Pack by subscribing to this podcast at secretmlmhacksradio.com.